Ciao and welcome to The Knowledge, where we pepper you with football facts about the world's greatest clubs. This week we talk about the old lady herself. No, not my mum, but Juventus. Let's get started. Goalkeeping legend Gianluigi Buffon is without doubt one of the greatest ever Juventus players. He played 509 games between the sticks in league games, winning 9 Serie A titles. But it could have been so different. When he signed for Parma as a 13-year-old in 1991, he actually played in midfield. However, he was so fixated by the heroics of Cameroon keeper Thomas Nkono at the World Cup in 1990, he fancied having a go in goals. He's never forgotten his inspiration to switch playing positions. When his first son was born, he named him Louis Thomas after the Cameroon #1. Thomas Nkono personally phoned him to congratulate him when he heard the news. Great one for the pub quiz here. Juventus are the only football club to have won all UEFA competitions. They've lifted the biggies, the European Cup and the UEFA Cup, but they've also collected the Cup Winners' Cup back in the day, the Super Cup, which is Champions League winners versus Europa League winners. They also bagged the Intertoto Cup that used to take place in the summer, and finally the Intercontinental Cup, which they lifted in 1996, beating Argentinos Juniors on pens. Impressive stuff. Juventus midfielder Massimo Bonini has the unlikely honour of being the best ever player for the worst ever country. Let me explain. A Juventus legend who played alongside the likes of Platini and Rossi, he won a Cup Winners' Cup and the European Cup and featured for Italy as a youth. But his dream was always to play for San Marino. His chance came in 1990 when UEFA accepted the little country as a recognised nation. He might have played alongside a bunch of postmen, plumbers and supply teachers, but they were his postmen, plumbers and supply teachers. The score? A 4-0 home defeat to Switzerland. Was it really worth it? In 1903, Juve played in pink tops. Yuck. They got so faded after washing, they asked teammate John Savage if he knew anyone who could get them knock-off kits from England. As it happens, he had a mate in Nottingham who helped supply strips to Notts County. Job done. Now, Juventus aren't the sort of club to forget these things. So when they opened their new stadium in 2011, they invited Notts County to be the first team to play there. Amazingly, the Magpies got a 1-1 draw, and County's Lee Hughes will go down in history as the first visiting player to score a goal in the brand new Juventus stadium. Juve hold a record for the quickest goal in Serie A history. Chilean Arturo Vidal bagged one against Inter in just 18 seconds in the 2012-2013 season. The previous holder was none other than Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Vidal's joy, though, was short-lived. They ended up losing the game 3-1 to Inter Milan, ending a 49-game unbeaten run. That'll teach them to score quick goals now. Juventus have a few nicknames, most famously the Old Lady, but they also get called La Fidanzata d'Italia, the girlfriend of Italy. Why, I hear you ask? Well, I'll tell you. Unlike most clubs who garner huge amounts of local support, Juventus claim most of their fans from across the country, a bit like the Manchester United of Italy. They particularly have a large amount of fans from southern Italy who left their towns to travel north to work in the Fiat factories of the Juve-owning Agnelli family. Alex Ferguson doesn't look up to many people, but he idolised Marcello Lippi. And why wouldn't he? Lippi not only won 5 Serie A titles with Juventus and the Champions League, he also won a cheeky World Cup managing Italy. Fergie was desperate to share a red wine and have a chat with Lippi every time United played Juventus. But there was a problem. Lippi's English was terrible and Fergie can't speak Italian. In the end, the solution was simple. The two would sit down after these encounters, enjoy a glass of red and talk to each other in French. Who wouldn't want to be a fly in the wall for that? Très magnifique. Have you ever wondered why Juventus have 3 stars above their badge? It's for 3 European Cup wins, surely. That is the wrong answer, I'm afraid. It's not the same as other European clubs. Each star represents 10 Serie A titles. I don't need Rachel Riley to tell you that's 30 titles. They've actually got 35, but they need another 5 before they get that 4th star. Rounding up is cheating. Should Juventus play in green? Well, maybe they should, because they're a pretty environmentally friendly bunch. Their stadium produces all the energy it needs using solar power captured through photovoltaic panels, or big shiny things on the roof as they're better known. On top of that, all the old concrete from the Stadio dell'Alpi was crushed down and reused to make the fixtures and fittings for the new ground. You need to up your game, Forest Green. And I feel it's my duty to end on an Irish fact about Juventus, so here goes. Liam Brady remains the only Irish signing for the Turin club when he left Arsenal for £500,000, or 1 week's wages for Alexis Sanchez, in 1980. He stayed for 2 seasons and helped them win 2 Serie A titles, but he'll be best remembered for his final game in his second season. The final match of the season was against Catanzaro, and it was a must-win for Juve. Brady had already been told he was going to be replaced by oily French wonder kid Michel Platini in the summer when he stepped up to take the penalty. He could have missed it and put 2 fingers up to the bosses who would turn their backs on him. But he slotted it away, effectively winning the title for Juve. God bless you, Liam, doing it for Ireland. Thanks very much for watching this episode of The Knowledge. Do us a favour and hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any future episodes. You never know, you might learn something that'll help you win next week's pub quiz. See you next time.